Minecraft New Update has many crazy and cool features, and in this video, I'm going to show you more than 30 new things that were added this time. When we enter the caves, we find many interesting things in the game. Many different ores, giant dripstone biomes, super beautiful biomes like the lush caves, very dangerous biomes like the deep caves, and also a lot of different structures full of things to explore. But in this update, we now have a completely new biome for the caves, and it's the sulfur biome, which we can also call sulfur caves. Now, when we enter the biome, we can notice this red and yellow hue everywhere. These are basically two different types of blocks, and one of them has a very interesting function. I'll talk about it soon, but first, the basics. These blocks can't be broken by hand. They won't drop that way. However, you can collect them using any pickaxe. This new red block is called cinnabar, and it's curiously similar to a netherrack. Or is it just me who sees the resemblance? And by using the cinnabar block in a stonecutter, it's possible to obtain several beautiful new cinnabar blocks, such as new stairs, slabs, walls, and this unique new block that's very nice for decorations. I really enjoyed using it to build some crazy things under the caves. It's a block that looks really cool because it's a very saturated red, and it also combines perfectly with the new sulfur block, which, when collected, can also be used to make several different new blocks, such as stairs, slabs, sulfur bricks, polished sulfur, and this other block, the chiseled sulfur, which for me is the coolest of all because it looks like it has a face drawn on it, making it very interesting to use in many types of constructions. And going back to the sulfur caves, we can also see several of these pools scattered throughout the biome. And besides being something that makes the biome beautiful, they also have some specific details. If you enter the water with yellow particles, in a short time, you will get this nauseating effect that will blur your vision like this. And you can replicate this effect anywhere with water. To do this, you need to extract the block below the particles, which is the potent sulfur. This block, when placed underwater, will emit these particles and will cause the same nauseating effect you get in the sulfurous cave pools. And it also looks great for decorating places. Another thing you'll notice in the sulfur caves are these sulfur spikes scattered throughout the biome. They basically function the same way as pointed dripstones and cause damage if they fall on any entity. You can easily collect them even by hand and use them however you want, just like dripstone. Basically, it's just a variant of pointed dripstone, but with the same functionality. And now let's talk about the new mob that arrived in this update, which is the sulfur cube. The sulfur cube is a mob that only appears in sulfur caves, where you'll find many of them. The sulfur cubes are completely peaceful mobs, and if you kill them, they won't drop anything, but they have a unique and very fun functionality that I'll show you. But first, let's talk about some specific details of this mob. Like if you use a bucket on it, you can collect it and take it wherever you want. This makes transporting him much easier. And this annoying zombie is ruining my recording. If you kill a sulfur cube, before it dies, it will first split into two smaller sulfur cubes, a mechanism similar to what happens with slimes, but with an interesting difference. Basically, when it splits in two, these two smaller cubes can grow again over time, unlike slimes which never grow. But now the most interesting part about this mob is that it's possible to make it absorb blocks. If you throw a block near it, it will absorb it and become like a statue. You can also just click on it with a block, and it will absorb it. And the most fun part is that it becomes like a kind of ball that you can kick or hit, and it will move away like this. Each type of block you place in the sulfur cube will have a different effect on it. For example, ice blocks make it slide when hit, wood blocks can make it bounce when hit in a specific spot, iron blocks and heavy blocks will make it heavy and difficult to move, and there are some other differences with other blocks. And with some blocks that emit light, it glows in the dark, which I personally thought was really cool. Another interesting detail is that depending on what you use to hit it, it will have more impact than hitting it with your hand. You will notice that there are differences between shooting at it with a bow or using an axe or spear. And it's also possible to do many cool things with this mob, like using an invisibility potion on it. As you can see, it becomes invisible, but the block inside it doesn't. So now we have blocks that can be moved, which is pretty cool. And you can do several other things with it, like using this mob as if it were a golf ball, or maybe a volleyball, or create some really interesting mini games. I had a lot of fun playing and testing things with this. And besides all those crazy things I built, I even built this giant stadium out of ice just to play around with my brother. This update, while it seems somewhat interesting, is still a bit strange considering that most people are waiting for an end update, and Mojang suddenly releases another update with cave content. I don't understand where the game is really heading at this point, but it's nice to have new blocks after more than a year without any new ones. Tell me what you thought of this update in the comments.